Hello and welcome to the latest Wind in the Willows review. This week it's winter sports, an absolute classic. We haven't had much snow here recently, but we've got a bit of frost, and then I'm recording this a week before I'm actually putting it up on YouTube. So, but yeah, just frost today. But by the time you're seeing this, maybe we do have more snow across the country. But either way, doesn't matter. This is a real classic one. I love this one. This one I remember, of course, from the Winter Tales video. So one of the first episodes I kind of saw, one of the first I got really familiar with, and probably, to be fair, it was my favourite of the three on that video. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Love this one. So let's do it. I'm just going to press play now. There we go. So this is the one that opens series 2. Now, interestingly, what they kind of did with the whole series was they kind of, apart from series 1, they started each other series around sort of Christmas time. So they certainly did with this one. So this would have been Christmas, I think Christmas 1984. I think I'm right with that, or maybe 85 actually. And then it went into the rest of the second series as you got into the following year. So just imagine this being shown originally around Christmas time. It is quite festive. Obviously Christmas and New Year's been and gone now. We're well into January, so this one, there's no other place to put it really. It just felt right here. I mean, Toad does mention a Christmas hamper in it. But out of all the winter episodes, this is the most wintry, I guess you could say, in terms of snow. Obviously last week I did Winter Haunts, which is a later episode, but this one really celebrates the great outdoors, whereas Winter Haunts is about the great indoors when you've got weather like this. And it's a beautiful episode. Lots of comedy in this one, lots of action, and I've read about this one. Those I spoke to worked on it said that this one took longer than normal to shoot, in many ways because of the snow, because you actually dress the set with all that snow, and there's different substances you can use for it. I'm not quite sure what they use for this, but it's you kind of trash your sets as it were, or they need a lot of cleaning up afterwards obviously, so you kind of leave these to the end of the series usually. And it's very much centred on Toad, this one. He gets quite excited here where he realises it's snowing. It's got a lovely, gentle, calm opening, certainly in comparison with what's coming. I know he feels I would get more as excited as him. Not that I'd get my skis out, but and a variety of people worked on this, and Jackie Cockle's directing. I believe we've got Barry Purvis working on this, various other crew, and this of course was before Barry was directing, but he speaks very fondly of this one, and Jackie Cockle does as well. And there's a photo in Barry's book that he wrote. If anyone hasn't read it yet, you really should. It's fantastic. He's written a couple of books, but this one is stop motion, process, passion and performance. I was lucky enough to do some illustrations for that book, and there's a lovely photo in there somewhere of Barry holding Toad during the shooting of this episode, and you can just tell by the expression of Barry's face how proud he is to be involved with it, and to animate the great Mr. Toad. And this is a lovely sequence, and again it's not just the snow. Another reason this was so complicated to shoot was because the camera moves, which if you look from here, lots of pans, lots of tracking with Toad up and down and skiing. That must have been interesting to control, ways there has to be anchored there, of course, some sort of rigging they would use, or measured out the skis, because like with vehicles you've got to measure out, to keep it consistent, you've got to get all your increments pretty much identical if you want to smooth action. Lovely how he almost goes out of shot and then goes out of shot the other way. The camera just carries on. And I love this shot as well. It's really beautifully done. And then we dive into this marvellous song by Hopwood and Rowe. One of my absolute favourites, really. And like I said before, David Jason hated singing. You'd never know it listening to this. He's such a professional. He didn't think he could sing well, but this is one of the great examples of David Jason singing incredibly well as Toad. You know, Toad wouldn't be the perfect singer, and that's so right for his character. And this is a wonderful song, really joyous. And again, of course, I know it so well, know it so well. And another reason it took a while to shoot, look at all the wind in Toad's clothing. So as he's skiing, you've got wires in his jacket, wires in his scarf, wires all over, so that you can get the effect of the wind. And that takes time, you know, it all takes time. It's a lot more to do than just simply, not simply, but just animating the characters and talking over. There's a lot of action in this episode. And, yeah, so it's a real special one. Great animation of Toad. I always love to wonder what time of the year these episodes were shot. Because things I've worked on, I've certainly worked on Christmassy or snowy episodes, in the middle of the summer, and it is odd going from a very hot day outside into the studio again, and you feel cold again just by looking at the snow. Now, interestingly, I have to point it out before, Ratty's house is always at a smaller scale than the actual puppet, and you almost kind of tell then, Toad looked very big on those steps and going down to the house. I mean, the steps kind of were, but the house itself, so this would have been a different set. I think they built like that section of Ratty's house just with the door to scale, but that's because of scale, issues with budgets and things. And for wide shots, you want to use those miniature versions of the puppets they use, which they didn't use so much in the series, more in the film. Love this shot. Now that's, you assume, is Billy Rabbit. And there's another rabbit, looks just like Billy Rabbit, but the girl rabbit. And of course you've got lots of characters involved, so there's many reasons why this took a long time to shoot. I must find out what the schedule was really, because even though I say they normally leave these episodes till the end, maybe this was shot early on, right off the back of series 1, in time for it to be broadcast, to be the first episode broadcast, and then they were well into the other episodes. Yeah, I often wonder about the schedules. It's a lovely effect that I always thought as a child, even with that snowball and mole's head.
You better get some practice in if that's the best you can do.
It's lovely. All got a lovely, great sense of humour. Hit by a snowball, but it's fine. Mulder wouldn't mind, would he? None of them would. And it's lovely. It's got a lovely, joyous feel. You've got all the youngsters having fun in the snow, as any kids would want to do. And then you've got Toad, the big kid, showing up. I've always loved that line, though, just what does he look like? And of course this is one of the ones released on DVD on the Time Life DVDs, and some people got those as well, subscription only. And God, it looks stunning on DVD. It's such a difference, being used to it on VHS for so many years, and to see them looking so much sharper and colours not bleeding and so on. And this is where the episode really takes off for me, when the Weasels are on the scene. Now what's interesting with this as well is the fact that animals like Badger are out and about, whereas obviously, you know, if you stick to the rules of real life, badgers hibernate all through the winter, and there's episodes that allude to that as well. If you think of series 1, Wayfarers All, for instance, Mole goes knocking for Badger, and the Chief Weasel says he won't find him now, he's got to sleep for the winter. So, and here we're absolutely in the thick of winter, obviously very cold, full of snow everywhere, so you know, why is Badger out and about? Obviously you want a story. So yeah, they've broken the walls a bit, but I don't mind that, you know, it absolutely works. The way to look at it is all the characters change during the course of the series, certainly by the end of the film. Or possibly except Ratty. Ratty doesn't change so much, but the others all change, and Badger becomes more sociable, so you could argue that he becomes more willing to be in the outdoors, whatever the season. Mole as well. But I doubt you'd ever see a real Badger out and about. I never see him out and about any time of the year, to be honest. Lovely animation. So look at the way Toad's listening there. Hard shots to do. Well, you've got another character carrying dialogue, and you're focusing on another one that's just kind of listening. And with Toad, you have got those expressive eyes. And as Barry's pointed out before, he hasn't got any ears, so you've got to kind of use the side of the head and those eyes to kind of give the sense that he's listening, taking something in. So they mentioned a Christmas hamper, so you could argue this takes place before Christmas in December sometime. But, you know, these days, or these years, we tend to get snow in January, not so much in December. Love that shot as well. Thank you, I'm sure, as well. Beautifully done. It's just the curves of the lips, you know, how you pose them, how you get the paddles in the lips to be absolutely right, and the eyes and the timing of those holds and everything. Now, I like that bit of dialogue Ratty has there, like, oh, we'll look after the snowman competition. Almost saying they don't want having anything to do with it, even though Badger is. He wants to make sure the weasels don't cheat. And then, of course, Badger gets involved with the snowman competition, which is nice. He doesn't want Ratty Mole to feel he's discarding that, even though Ratty Mole were alluding, or Ratty was, oh, if you're doing that, Badger, you know, we'll do this, won't we, Mole? You know, almost being a little bit sarcastic. Again, developing Ratty's character. You've got the weasels being involved as well. I think but Paper Chase, which is a later episode, of course the weasels get involved with those. Supposedly children's activities, and of course Toad and the weasels have to be involved in that, and the others are kind of we'd never do that. And notice how that's Billy the Field Mouse. Of course, we know him from The Great Steamer and one or two other episodes. So I guess at this point, Billy Rabbit, we have seen him, of course, in Series 1 on a few episodes, but he's not fully fleshed out as a character until later. Although, you know, think of the Yuletide Entertainment, he is in that one. So, but he's certainly developed a lot more in the future. Do you love this scene? The weasels. I've always struck me actually was how he says, "You 8 sons," directing at that older rabbit, but he never says a word. It's all the little girl. I guess she's the confident, outspoken one.
Aren't you and your friends a bit old for a snowman competition? Oh yes. Where does it say that in the rules? Don't be silly. There are no rules. Well then, we haven't broken them, have we? Well, just no more bullying, that's all. Or I'll see you after the
I
cell.
love that. Yeah, I like their slogan. I think it's a good
They've
one.
got another 10 minutes yet.
But it's like they're so spoiled and they just look childish. Like Mole almost got excited there, and then I guess they're thinking of the weasels being involved. And this always made me laugh. Really. Just all that sniggering. I always think of the voice artists like Brian Truman, Jimmy Hibbert, and all the rest of them. just recording generic laughs. I guess at times it was actually a laugh like this for the script, but they also built up a library. You notice it in certain episodes, certain laughs, sniggers, or even like little grunts or things that Toad might do or Badger that they reuse. It makes sense, and it's common practice, of course.
Alan, 2 o'clock precisely. We got your team together yet? Well, we're just, I see he must have got tied up
I love that line. Unless he got tied up. Toad's totally oblivious, isn't he?
Right, Mr. Badger. We're ready. Toad, you ready?
I think Toad's great as gear. And this costume, I haven't said yet, is one of the first ones I saw for real. And it still exists today, it's in the archive, and it's been on this maquette for many years.
I shall say ready.
And the very first time I visited Cosgrove Hall was in 1999, when I had an initial day's visit
Ready.
to visit Mark Hall. And I think I said before, but it was absolutely wonderful. And I remember going in there spellbound and seeing this cabinet full of original puppets, and on the top shelf were the Willows. Not puppets, but these maquettes. I've got one myself that was kind of thrown out, that hasn't got any arms and legs, but just the head really. But these ones, were fully, from the sculpts of the puppets, and just kind of grey latex. But it had this full shoespoon and winter sports outfit on it, and seeing that for the first time was just incredible. And I was blown away by the span of them. I always imagined the characters to be much smaller than that, for some reason. And a lot of people said that. Why is it that we think these characters are smaller? And they sometimes are. But it was wonderful to see it, and again to see it, or to know that it exists in the archive, and to spend time photographing it. It's a beautiful costume. Yeah. I love how all the characters are kind of making snowmen of their own species almost. I guess you could say that's a weasel snowman. Certainly got a long nose.
Yes, but they were right. I mean, there are no rules, so I can't disqualify them. So
They're so honest, aren't they, Ratty and Mole? They're saying it's the best yet, and even though they don't want the weasels to win, it shows that they absolutely would pick the best snowman, what they regard as the best. And very, very honest of them. But I would probably bend the rules a little bit. Now this, I must admit, this scene always confused me a bit. I never quite understood it. I still don't, if I'm honest. What is everyone's take on this? The hedgehog, there's a shot there where she looks round, like almost like a double take. Was she building another snowman, and is she cheating? Is she lying, trying to say, oh, well, this isn't my snowman, but I'll keep quiet because they've said I'm the winner? Or has she done some sort of agreement with Toad to be buried under there? Because he obviously gets revealed in a moment. Or has Toad crashed and then they've built, she's added snow next to him? I don't know what's happened. I'm probably just being stupid, but I've never got it. Let me know if you can get it. For me, it seems like the hedgehog and Toad are sort of teamed up. But yeah, odd. Lovely sense of weight here when Toad swings this. Wow, that comes round beautifully spaced out. All of that.
who won the race, Toad?
So he's lost interest now. Of course, because
I lost interest, that's all. You mean you lost the race? No. He said I just got involved in other things.
so the way he says that, got involved with other things, alludes to that thing of like the snowman when he got involved with that.
Come on, everyone, all of you, let's dip in.
Maybe it's a bit of a hole in the script, don't know. Now this always amazed me as well when I first saw this on DVD or even on Channel 5, this shot, because it would cut after Mole says he might, and then of course traditionally on a lot of the videos you didn't have the titles for each one, you just dissolved to the next one. And I was like, oh, there's a shot I've never seen before. And yeah, it would have been on Channel 5 when I first saw it, complete with credits. So yes, I thought Paul Berry worked on this. Very rare that you get Paul Berry, Sue Pugh and Barry Purvis working animating on the same episode. I don't think Paul and Barry worked together on certain shots. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but I think because it was, again, quite a big one to shoot, they needed like a third animator to be involved, whereas usually you'd have two. But yeah, that's a true classic, that one. I mean, it's right up there, certainly in my top 10. I remember thinking years back, trying to work out if I had to pick my ultimate #1 episode, what would it be? And in some ways I'd probably choose this one. Certainly be a contender. Certainly my top 5, I would say. Because there's so much going on in it. It's beautifully shot, loads of characters, you've got a great song, you know, it looks great with all the snow and everything, lots of humour. It's just got so much going for it. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm sure that you've got memories of that one as well. You know, that Winter Tales video was released many times, of course, and it was the only one that was never kind of tampered with. Tide Entertainment was obviously its long version and its short version. Rescue was its short version and its long version. Winter Sports was always intact. So there you go. This week as well, I'm doing a bonus one. It's come round again, so do look out for that. That's Toad in Love, the penultimate bonus episode from Series 5, of course. And next week, we actually go for The Rescue, which is the next one. It was the next one on that Winter Tales video. Feels absolutely right to have that one follow it. I always think of those episodes just together. Follows on beautifully. So yeah, The Rescue next week. Do join me for that. Wrap up warm as it does seem to be getting colder, so maybe we will get snow. Maybe by the time you're watching this there is snow. Alright then, cheers then, all the best, thanks for watching.